4. Thanks for joining me for some comprehension. I hope that you're ready to learn. So grab your book, grab a pencil, and find a spot where you can focus. All right, let's go. All right, so today's comprehension is called Hurricane Plane, and it says, think about what it might be like to be a scientist who studies hurricanes. So hurricane plane. And so let's start reading. You might know that wind vanes tell you which way the wind is blowing, and that thermometers tell you how hot or cold it is outside. But did you know that airplanes can be used to study hurricanes? Okay, I'm just going to stop there. And I just want to make sure we all know what a hurricane is. So a hurricane is a really big storm. A hurricane is a really big storm. So a really big storm, they often start over the ocean. They usually hit coastal areas the most. And it's a big storm that gets started with the hot air and the humidity over the ocean. They're fed by the heat over the ocean near the tropics usually, and then they blow towards the land. So they're big storms. They're pretty catastrophic sometimes when they hit. They can do a lot of damage to people and property and coastlines. So that's why scientists are studying them in order to get a little bit better at understanding them. So I encourage you, if you have never looked into hurricanes, I know some of you did hurricanes for your weather project in science. We did talk about hurricanes in science. But if you've never looked into hurricanes today, maybe take some time to look up like the eye of a hurricane, and you can see the shot of the clouds. It's pretty cool. So today maybe you could search hurricanes for kids. All right. Anyway, back to it. I'm going to start from the beginning because I hope I didn't distract you too much. So hurricane planes. So you're going to think about what it might be like to be a scientist who studies these giant storms. Hurricane plane. You might know that wind vanes tell you which way the wind is blowing, and that thermometers tell you how hot or cold it is outside. But did you know that airplanes can be used to study hurricanes? On November 1st, 2007, an aircraft flew through a dangerous hurricane. So hurricanes can be dangerous. People on the ground controlled the plane so nobody was inside it. Do you know what that's called? That's called a drone. So it was like a drone plane. However, it was full of equipment used to take pictures and record data as the plane passed through the storm. So it's not safe to send a person onto the plane and fly through a hurricane. That would be pretty dangerous. So instead, they set up a drone with equipment. So imagine building a drone and filling it full of scientific equipment to measure what it's like to be inside a hurricane. And that's something that I don't think science really knows. We don't often get to go inside hurricanes. So that's pretty cool. While large planes can safely fly over a hurricane, looking at a hurricane from above doesn't tell scientists everything they want to know. This is because most hurricanes get their energy from warm water in the ocean. Scientists wanted to learn more about what happens where that warm ocean water meets the air in a hurricane. So they sent in the small remote-controlled plane. The plane studied how clouds form and measured the temperature of the air and water. It also recorded many images of the storm. Scientists are still studying the information they collected using the plane. Many hope it will help them better understand how hurricanes form and move so that people can be better prepared when a hurricane comes. So this is kind of cool. This is a good question for today, for Friday. I want you to think about the type of weather you would like to study. So maybe when we did our weather projects back in science, back in the fall, you had learned about a type of weather or natural phenomenon that you would like to study. So write it down here. Maybe you're interested in tornadoes. Maybe you're interested in blizzards. Maybe you're interested in cyclones. Maybe you're interested in hurricanes. So write down what kind of weather you would like to study. And I encourage you to search that up today with the tag for kids, right? We don't search things on the internet without adding for kids to our search. So if it was tornadoes, I might write tornado facts for kids, right? Because we don't search things without adding for kids. So tornado facts for kids. Okay, now let's move on to our multiple choice questions. And again, I encourage you, spend some time today thinking about some weather. Describe what kind of weather you'd like to study and go learn about it. What weather have you always wondered about? What questions do you have about weather? So maybe pick a type of weather and spend, I don't know, 15 minutes today just looking at pictures and videos and searching for kids with your type of weather. Okay, now read each question. Fill in the bubble next to the correct answer. So when did scientists use the hurricane plane? So was it in spring, during summer, or in fall, or during winter? So let's just double check. Okay, so November. What season is it in November? Think about it. So November is, I'm just trying to think. It's the fall. November is the fall. So it would have been the day after Halloween. That's still fall. I don't think that's winter yet. Okay, number 2. What is one lesson from the passage? Okay, safety is more important than knowledge. While they were safe, hurricanes are more important than airplanes. No, that's not the... Equipment is more important than scientists. No, because equipment can be replaced and humans can't. Airplanes are more important than thermometers. No, this is all nonsense. So what the one lesson from the passage is, safety is more important than knowledge. And how they taught us that was they sent an unmanned airplane. So they sent this drone up. Okay, they sent this unmanned drone up into the hurricane. That tells you that they don't want to risk their scientists' safety to study the hurricane. The information they gathered is important, but not as important as keeping the people safe. So that's why they sent up the drone, the empty airplane, just with equipment, but no people. All right, so number 3, why did scientists need a plane that could fly through a hurricane? So these are our options. Remember, we're thinking of our best answer based on what we read. So why did scientists need a plane that could fly through a hurricane? So they were afraid to fly above the hurricane? No, because look up here. It says, while large planes can safely fly over a hurricane, looking at a hurricane from above doesn't tell scientists everything they want to know. So they still had questions. You can fly over a hurricane safely, but they wanted to know what it was like in the hurricane. Okay, they wanted to be closer to where the air meets the water. Okay, that's true, because that's where, let's look here. This is because most hurricanes get their energy from warm water in the ocean. Scientists wanted to learn more about what happens where that warm ocean water meets the air in a hurricane. So they're saying the same thing here as the question saying. They wanted to be closer to where the air meets the water. B. And let's just double check. Oh, I'm losing my camera angle here. Let's just double check the other 2. The hurricane was in their way. Well, it was, but that's not the whole point. And they didn't have a plane that could fly higher than a hurricane. That's not true, because many planes, bigger planes, can fly right over a hurricane with no problem. All right, so B. Number 4, how do you think the scientists felt when the plane flew through the hurricane? Okay, so imagine you're a scientist. Close your eyes and imagine you're a scientist. Okay, so you're a scientist. You put all of this effort into studying hurricanes, and you still have questions about hurricanes. So you make a plane, a drone, and you fill it full of awesome scientific equipment. And you fly this drone from the safety of the land through a hurricane. Now just think of how awesome that is. I don't think you would feel disappointed. I don't think you would feel angry. You definitely wouldn't feel silly. You would feel so proud. You would be so proud that you did this cool thing. Like, think about how cool that is. All right, that's our comprehension for today. That was interesting reading about hurricane planes with you. Maybe it made you think about something you might want to look up and research on your own. Remember, if you're ever researching anything online, make sure that you add the 4 kids to make sure that you're staying safe and you're finding things that are appropriate for you. All right, so remember to add 4 kids into your search. And I hope that over the spring break, you take some time to read on your own. So you did get an invite. All of the parents were emailed an invite for EPIC. books. So free home subscription during this time. I wanted to let you guys know that if you didn't get that email or you're still struggling to set it up, you can send me a message and I'll try to help as best I can. I can resend the link if necessary. All right. I hope that you have a wonderful break. Keep reading, and I will see you back here on the Monday after spring break for more comprehension.